Hello everybody, my name is Vic Gilgis and I'm here to do another podcast with you. It's episode 55, Love is All You Need. So I'm going to talk about love as best as I can, and as I've said before, I do these podcasts to help you with your well-being, if I can, and to help myself with mine. Now, this podcast is a funny one, I think, and please be careful with me here because I've had a bit of a love fest. Basically, I feel like Jilted John because I kind of fell in love with somebody or started to, and it was reciprocated. So I feel a bit like a dog licking its wounds, as it were. And the reason I'm doing this podcast is because it's made me think about love more and what love is. And the outcome is that it did, like love does, and it has done before. When you fall in love with life, with another person, more self-love with yourself, things change. In my view, you become inspired. Your health improves. you get clarity. Except just the opposite with me. I got daft. But I do think that you see things differently through the eyes of love. There is wisdom there. And it is a lovely thing because overall, I hope this podcast shows that what happened to me inspired me to write about love and fluffed me up, made me come alive. You know my story. I was married to my lovely wife, Vicky, for over 56 years. And I think I know what love is. So I'm going to talk about, in a kind of a Jilted John way, licking my wounds way, talk about love and what it can do and what it's done to me and what it can do to you. And thankfully, or hopefully, you've got love, and I'm sure you have, and know what it means. But if you haven't, I hope this helps. First thing I did was I looked up an AI definition of love. And, well, I'll read it out what it says. Love is a complex set of emotions and behaviours characterised by deep affection, intimacy and commitment. It is a fundamental human drive that involves care, trust and a benevolent concern for the well-being of another. It exists in many forms, spanning romance, family and friendship. I think that is good, except it's cold. As you know, you can read about love and you can see it on paper, but it has to be felt and experienced, and it cannot be explained sometimes. So I hope that what I'm going to do is give a kind of a more human perspective rather than an AI definition of love. And I would add, does a robot know love? No, it bloody well doesn't. Excuse me. It looks through all the texts and looks for keywords on love and then spews it out onto the paper, and people read it and maybe use it as guidance to love, to get a love. Well, if they use that, they're going to be worse off than me. Many years ago, I used to teach managers, and one time for a full session, the title was Love, and for 2 hours I talked about love. The outcome was, now looking back at it, I thought, wow, I still say, what a brave thing to do, to talk to hard-bitten managers about love. I hope you can almost imagine the quietness as I tiptoed out the room. It just kind of didn't resonate. But why should it? But I did have a go. And I think it was a bridge too far for these managers who basically were working on a kind of a mindset, the opposite of love, which was get more out of people, kick the backside if you don't get more out of people, tell them what the faults are, try and improve them, blah, blah, blah. And that is a thing that I've always been concerned with. When I was a young man, I could see the managers above me treating me badly and the other workers badly. They didn't seem to know how to get the most out of us, and not realising that if they'd have shown a bit of care and a bit of empathy and a bit of trust, they would have got twice as much production, but they didn't. They didn't have a clue because they had the nose too busy stuck in manuals and AI definitions of love. So I said it was a bridge too far. Well, it was then. But I think love is a bridge over troubled waters. So when you are upset, down, what have you, if it is love of another, then that can just spare you on and get you over those troubled waters. But also, if you start to realise what you've actually got inside you, which is just pure love, your inner space, your essence, which is true love, and the fact that because it's true love, it always wants to help you. It will help you that will get you over your troubles. So there is kind of two types of love there, and I'll be exploring this. There is a human kind of love, which is great because that is love. We are human, we tick, we have feelings, we have emotions. That is love. There is a love which is more what I would call a oneness, which is more of an intelligence, which is love of life, which is love for us because we are life. It tells us what to do. And in human form, it will help us, hopefully, which it does. And we have, when I say hopefully, to have faith in that helps. And I'll talk about that later with synchronicity. But basically, well, I don't know what basically, I'll just carry on with what I'm doing. Things that outside, I would look at love is kind of myself, is doing things that I enjoy, getting close to that essence I've talked about, my soul, my enthusiasm. In other words, when I've been totally immersed in what I love doing, time flies. I'm not bothered if I get paid for it. I do it for the love of it. It's like an authentic pursuit. And you get in like what I'd call a timeless zone, just a oneness of focus. So I think that's when the humanness merges with our spirituality. In other words, through our enthusiasm, through our being authentic, not playing the game, as it were, but playing the real game, the being in our essence, doing what turns us on in that sense, in a true sense. Yeah, so that's a kind of a love. Getting in touch with our real self brings that out, gets us back to spirit, and there is a comparison there between our real self and our imagined self. So this brain, we have our mind, because of our psychology, because of our conditioning, as ideas of love, which have been imprinted on us like a blueprint. Well, sorry, let me go back on that. We always have a blueprint, which is just pure love. But what I'm saying is that this gives other instructions. It's like an overlay on that blueprint based on what we've been taught, what we've been shown. So that is why some people don't know love. They are kind of numb to love. They hate because, and you know, well, I mean, why hate? But people do, because they are not concerned with oneness. They are concerned with otherness, us and them, because of ideas that they've got, because of beliefs that they've got, which is I'm right, you're wrong, I hate you because of that. No, we're all the same. We're all human. We all tick the same. We all bleed the same. We're all life. We all love the same. So that's what I'm talking about. And going back to our blueprint, that our basic blueprint, that blueprint knows how to guide us. It is love, and it will shove us in the direction always, if we listen to it, of getting love in all sorts of forms. So it's not what we want, and there was a it's what we need. Rolling Stones record on that, and that is often put in front of us when we least expect it. But sometimes our psychology, if we look at it that way, if we can kind of realise that it serves us best to concentrate on love things, then when we do that, when we get our mindset in that sense, then our psychology will go out looking for love things, because that's the way in which it works. If we go out looking for the opposite, which is hate things, that's what we will find. That is the way in which the media algorithms work. If you want to commit suicide, it will show you more about how to do it. If you want to look at love, then, as I've said, there are AI definitions of love, but you don't need to do that, because basically if you go quiet to your conditioning, you get to be in touch with the love that you are, the inner guidance that you get, which guides you to do that. Now, I'm going to refer, as I often do, to the three principles, Sydney Banks's work, which is, and I have done already, which is before our human form, we have an inner space, a spirit of oneness. Now, as I've said there, we have an inbuilt factory setting, which is loving, which is about kindness, which is about empathy, which is about generosity, which is about forgiveness. So when we are, say, out of love, in other words, suffering, in other words, feeling in a bad way, then because we are built of love, because the system that we have, we get that when we feel bad, that is a signal to wake up to the fact that we are not with our oneness. It's always there. So instead of, when you feel bad and feeling in hate or non-love situations, instead of pursuing that even more, why am I like this? Or I hate these, what can I do about it to hate them back? No, the signal the feeling there is to say you're going in the wrong direction. Go to the other direction, which is towards your oneness, your spirit, which has got all the guidance that you need, because that's where the love is. So basically what happened with me, Jilted John, I met this lady and I asked her if I could take her out, and she said yes. Well, I mean, the first thing was that I nearly fell over, because I thought I expected a rejection. I didn't get a rejection, and the daft thing was I'd forgotten that a week later I was going to go abroad on holiday, and so when she said yes, I then said, "Oh, but I'm going away on holiday." What a daft thing to say! Can I take you out? And oh, by the way, I'm disappearing. And she said, "Oh, well, I am as well." In other words, I'll get my own back on you. Anyway, so I got it all completely wrong, but she said yes, and she gave me her contact number. Well, and so I was bowled over by this, and so I then kind of picked myself, I'm talking about a few hours later, picked myself back up off the floor again and texted her and said, "Look, I'm sorry, I've asked you out, and I told you I'm going away, which I am going away, but when I get back, can I take you out?" Yeah, obviously. And so I got a reply, which was yes. And I was like so fluffed up. I was like, this is what this can do when it's good. I mean, this can make you or break you. I was literally floating off the ground. I was so fluffed up. I think in that instant, my health improved, my outlook improved, my feelings improved. I could have conquered the world, really could. So what I did, and I mean, this was my downfall. I then went into what my daughter calls it rubbish poetry. I call it romantic muse. So I'm going to read you the first thing that I wrote, what I wrote. And I wrote this thing called Love is All You Need. Solo, oneness of love is the true reality, but life flirts a need to join. Silliness is that pursuit, since we are really one. But that one, which is special, is best shared only and beautifully recognised by that special other who knows love, you. And I think I sent that text. And that's how I was feeling, you see. And so, how can I explain this in terms of what I haven't written, what somebody else has written? I'm trying to say, hopefully in those moves, that being human, we need human comfort. And I think that's very true. So there is a kind of a conflict there between spirit and being human. And so Nat King Cole, singer, and this is in March 1948, he sung a song called Nature Boy. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Listen to Nat King Cole, excuse me. And in part of the lyrics is, the greatest thing you will ever know is to love and be loved in return. Oh, I mean, isn't that true? The greatest thing you will ever know. The greatest thing you will ever learn is to love and be loved in return. Oh, brilliant. It's so brilliant because it's so true. When somebody loves you, everything changes. The way you look at life changes. And of course, it's all to do with our take on things. But isn't it lovely when because we are built of love, and that's why we want to be in company of others and share, because we're built that way. And when somebody else actually comes out and says, I see you, I hear you, I want you, well, that's just wonderful. So that Nat King Cole is, that's wonderful. So what I did, being sloppy and daft, I got basically, I texted back another text straight away. What I didn't realise is that here I'm going crackers, and I'm showing that I'm crackers and really putting this person off, as you'll find out. Well, I got packed in. There's the spoiler. But what I texted was, the title being Our Humanness. And I said, I want you to love me. It, wondrously given, realises my feelings of love. So that's a kind of an echo of Nature Boy, Nat King Cole. I want you to love me. It, wondrously given, realises my feelings of love. So there you are. Then I didn't send this, and it's a bit rude, but I've written it, and because, well, I'll just read it. And it's called Need. My prostate, because I've had a prostate operation. My prostate has buggered things up. Regarding sex, I'm out of luck. However, I'm a man and still have the female bug. I'll just lay there and cry if I ever had a naked female hug. So I'm sorry about that, because I swore as well. But that kind of, my feelings here, I'd just lay there and cry. I can't say it. If I ever had a naked female hug. So it's not about sex. It's just about wanting to share with another that you can love and who loves you. So, still in this love fest in my head, I went on and wrote some more. Did I send it? No, I don't think I did, but I'll read it. It's called Waiting for Love. I had a true love, she's now gone. What next? What answer can wisdom bring? I find no solace that spirit can herald that. As a man, female charm beckons. As yet no special other is gifted by that which bestows it. Faith that aloneness can be reversed is the hardest waiting state. I wait. There is an old saying that good things are worth waiting for, and love is the best good thing. So I hope that you enjoy that. I'll read the last 3 lines of that again. Faith that aloneness can be reversed is the hardest waiting state. I wait. There is an old saying that good things are worth waiting for, and love is the best good thing. Well, I think it is. So, there is a reality of love and there is our imaginations of love. We have our made-upness regarding love in its many different forms that attract us to life, to others. And I listen to the Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, and they have a wonderful album, listen to it, called Time. And in the ELO album, there is a song called Twilight. And part of the lyrics there are, it's either real or it's a dream. There is nothing really in between. And I relate back to the inside out approach of the 3 principles here, which talk about our imagination not being reality. Reality is reality and our essence is reality. And so when they say it's either real or it's a dream, there is nothing in between. That is true. It is either made up by us or it's real. And so the sooner we get to our realness, to guide us more with our made-upness, to use that as a lever to guide us into this human form, this life, the better. And again, I did send this text. So what I'm saying there is trying to get back to wanting material, realise that our wanting for material things can mess us up a little bit, because there is imagined things and there are real things. But again, going back to my daftness, and I did send this text because I'm like thinking of ELO, which is brilliant. They have on that Time album, they have a record called Ticket to the Moon. And this is where I really jiggered myself up, because I texted basically, I love you. Now, to me, and I'm going by songs again, I just called to say I love you, by Stevie Wonder is brilliant. I just called to say I love you. And so what I did, my next text was I love you, and referred to the ELO album, Time, A Ticket to the Moon. And part of the lyrics there is, I've got a ticket to the moon, but I'd rather see the sunrise in your eyes. Isn't that beautiful? I've got a ticket to the moon, but I'd rather see the sunrise in your eyes. Well, that's when I got packed in. I got this kind of text back was, I'm like, go away, you're frightening me. Jesus, well, that was the words, geez, I kind of blew some circuits in somebody that I thought I loved. Well, I did. And so I got dumped, and I'm now jilted John. I'm licking my wounds. But what I'm saying is that it was worth the experience in many ways, because it brought me back to aliveness. It actually brought my grief to some kind of, not conclusion, but I'd started crying and my feelings were coming out more than they had done in a long time. As I was able to see the start of a new chapter possibly in my life. That was, I think, it. I was starting to be able to be in love again. And that's what I mean. But it didn't work out because I went overboard. I went a little bit crackers. Going back to, excuse me, going back to the three principles, you can see there that I fell in love with somebody, told that somebody, then got packed in. But in actual fact, I never really got a date. I never got to take that person out. She never got to meet me, talk to me, try to understand me. And I never got time to meet her, understand her, talk to her. So nothing really happened. And isn't this the case? This is the principle story. Nothing really happened. It's all to do with thought. We got all this and all that, and, nothing really happened. We might as well have been asleep in bed, having a nightmare, or having a kind of a love dream. The opposite of a nightmare, dreaming about love and falling in love, because it's either real or it's a dream. There is nothing really in between. Nothing happened, but everything happened up here. There you go. So you can either torture yourself or have a good life. But the trouble is, when this starts to torture yourself, that's when I hope the principles, getting back to who you really are and seeing that as a signal to get back to who you really are when you're upset, helps. So what I'm saying is it's all about thought. And what I'm saying is that because of the principles, I think I can now carry on better than I used to. In other words, you maybe think, I think a lot, this is one of the, I suppose, criticism really of the three principles here. Well, if it worked, like CBT is supposed to, cognitive behavioural therapy, if it works, makes you better. The principles are not about making you better. The principles are about showing you how you tick, getting an understanding of what is going on. And with that understanding, there is a higher chance, and research has been done on this, that you will start to, with this knowing that your consciousness is raised, that you will start to live a better life, that when you are in the dumps, you're able to take the dumps or better. In other words, when you are feeling depressed, you'll be able to deal with that better. When you are feeling upset, that upsetness is dealt with better because you understand what's going on. And going back to Wayne Dyer's work, then he used to say, when you have the lows, remember that there is always the highs. And remember, when there's the highs, then there's the lows. That's how life is, because this is how this works. So, realize the highs, which we have in the human form with the ego, which is me, love, all the rest of it, feeling on, then all of a sudden it crashes down. But also, roll with the lows, as I've just said, because of mind, with a capital M, because of our essence, we can roll better with the lows. And what I would say is enjoy the ego highs, see what they are, see that they are thought created, and there's nothing wrong in that. We are human and we love. That's great. And isn't it great, as Nat King Cole said, when you are shown love and love comes in return. So it enabled me to bring out my grief more. I came alive again. I was inspired by love. In fact, I know that love was my muse. The actual being in love, feeling in love, but love itself was my muse. I hope by some of the stuff that I presented to you, some of my prose that I presented to you. And yeah, I think that's all I can say, really. I had the chance to become electrified again, and I was. But Jilted John here at the moment doesn't see it that way. So but I carry on better than I used to because of what I know about the principles. And I hope that that can be applied to you and it help you with your well-being, because your being is always well. Remember that. When you go back to your spirit, when you go back to your oneness, your essence, you're always well. It is this thing that will kind of chew over things because it is trying to help you. And when it's jilted, it will get really angry, as I did, and what have you, and getting over it now. So let's go on to some breathing. So if you settle in your chair and let's do some box breathing. And this is to settle you, your whole self. So if you'll just breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. So breathing back to normal now. So let's have some check on our body, relax through our body, thank our body for functioning without us even having to think about it. It's trying its best to look after us in so many ways. There is an unseen intelligence there. So just relaxing now from top of our head, a soft scalp, just relaxing down, just massaging our temples there, nice and soft and easy. Down, easy jaw, soft jaw, nice long neck, the little muscles there just easing. Down to your soft shoulders, so relaxed. Down to our upper arms, easy and relaxed, that's right. Down to our forearms, so easy and relaxed. A relaxed chest. Down to a relaxed tummy, everything relaxed, that's right. Our hips so relaxed, supported easily by our chair. Right down through our thighs, relaxed muscles there. Down to our calves, so relaxed. Relaxed and gentle, that's easy. Relaxed ankles and feet, so relaxed. Right, relaxed there. That's correct, that's right. Down to our toes, relaxed. Little muscles in our toes, so relaxed. Okay, thank you. So, everything's turned out nice again. So I'm sorry I've kind of, given too much information out there. I'm telling you how I feel. We all get like that. Hopefully, we all get the chance to fall in and out of love. That's natural, that's human. And it's nice, isn't it, when we have someone to love? And isn't it wonderful when they love us in return? But I think, more generally, that when we love life, life always loves us in return. Because when we are loving life, we are knowing that life is okay, which it is, because life wants us to live. It's flowing through us all the time. That river of life is always there. The only trouble is we jump into the river of life and try to block it by thinking about it all. But it's there, it's helping us. And when we realise that we are being carried along by the river of life, and that's what I mean by coming back to Carl Jung's synchronicity. Things are put in front of us that are more than coincidences. It's happened so many times in my life. And it's not just luck. Well, it is luck, I suppose. But what I'm saying is that you make your luck. And we can all make our luck because we've all got that essence inside of us, which when it waits for things to happen, and it is patient, and that patience, and I hope that this is why I have a faith, that things will work out well. Because you have the faith in life, and life will always show up for you. It always does, because it wants you to thrive. And trust that it will work. I mean, I think the criticism of me was that this person, I was showing love when this person was saying, "How can you know? I've never met you." Well, all I can say is that I met my wife one day, my wife to be, when she was single. I met her one day. The next day, I asked her to marry me. And I was married to her for over 56 years. So you just know. So keep on knowing, because that guidance is there. It's a knowing. It's got intelligence. There's the feeling. Go with it. Go with the flow. Not like go with the flow like a dead fish, no. Along that flow there were dead fish, but there were fish that are sparkling and jumping in the water. That's life, that's you. Don't impede it, go with it. Enjoy it. And I hope that I've had this brief enjoyment of showing you what love can do. And you know yourself what love can do. It can inspire you, it can bring you up to the heights. It's wonderful. Love is all you need. So thank you for listening. I hope to catch up with you again. Thank you very much for listening and watching.